Why is it so hard for some Latinos to talk about anti-Black racism? A lot of people have been leaving me comments saying that me posting about this subject of racial innocence in Latino communities is divisive. But what's really divisive is when we don't acknowledge that something toxic is taking place in our communities and don't do the work to rectify it. What's up, scholars? Welcome back to my series on racial innocence. My name is Dr. Esther Trujillo, and I post about Latinos in the US from an academic perspective. So the topic of racial innocence, again, if racial innocence is about believing that you're not racist or believing that Latinos can't be racist, even though there's evidence everywhere that shows that Latinos, regardless of our shade, regardless of our position, our immigration status, are agents of white supremacy from time to time, why does this belief stick? And we've been reading Dr. Tania Kateri Hernandez's book, Racial Innocence. She argues that our stubbornness around this idea that Latinos can't be racist comes from a couple different places. First off, it's our own experiences with discrimination. If we're discriminated, then how is it possible for us to also be the people who are engaging in discrimination? Another reason is the narratives of Latino unity. And to that, I would add Black and Latino unity. People will often cite the fact that their neighbors are Black or their friends are Black without really delving critically into what that means, or taking their own personal example as a generalization, even though your experience is just one data point. And among her many points, Hernandez also argues that our adherence to this myth of racial innocence comes from living day-to-day life within a white supremacist society. So let me just be clear. Even though Latinos face discrimination, and that discrimination is real and varied and complex and layered, we can still participate in anti-Blackness. We can still be agents of white supremacy. Being marginalized in one way or another does not preclude someone from being discriminatory themselves or from producing harm. If you're still confused or want more foundational basics about this, go back on my page and check out my videos on colorblind racism, microaggressions, and systemic inequality, systemic racism. The goal of these conversations is not to blame. It's to have introspection, to stop and think like, hey, have I done this? I should stop. Maybe I should stop. Maybe I should ask people around me who have darker skin than me, a beige Latina, maybe I should be asking people how this affects them and understand it on a deeper level. It's not to set blame, it's to create awareness, because after you're aware of something, you can do something to stop it and to rectify it. Once we recognize the patterns